Hello, Squid and Octo kids! Welcome to It's a Splat Theory. I'm your host, Kat, and when I was writing what I would do for side order, a question popped into my head. Can Inklings cry? The question may seem simple and unimportant, but the more I thought about it, the more I just wasn't sure. So I decided that I'm going to do a deep dive into Splatoon, its art, its stickers, its clothing, and even the real world, just to find out, can Inklings actually cry? First, the official art. Now I scanned over many pieces of promotional art, and art for Splatfest. Honestly, not very surprisingly, we get no proof that Inklings can cry. But most art is of happy Inklings and Octolings, so that's really to be expected. Next is items we can purchase, shirts and stickers, which I looked over all of, and still nothing. At this point, I was getting a bit frustrated. Those were the things I had my biggest bets on. I took a look at the graffiti in Splatoon as well, but still didn't find anything. But I had not given up yet. It was time to keep looking. So to the sunken scrolls. And finally, I found something. Two things, actually. Sunken Scroll 22 and 23 from Splatoon 2. It's not something major, but it is the first proof we've gotten so far. The first one, 22, is a blog post by Callie. And there's a picture of a fogged up window, and on the window of a drawing of a sad Inkling that looks like it's crying. Second one, 23, is the drawing encouraging Octarians to express themselves and decorate their lair. The proof we have here is that the sad Octarian is drawn crying. Now, I know you may say that this isn't real proof, that it isn't actually Inklings crying. And what I'd say is it does show that Inklings know about crying and tears, and have at least seen something, if not other Inklings, cry. But even if it doesn't convince you, there is even more proof. That comes in the Octo expansion. Specifically, Marina's chat room. It's session 7, and it's right after Captain Cuttlefish tells Pearl about Marina being part of the Octarian army. Pearl tells Marina she knows now, and Marina asks if they think she'd still be welcome in Inkopolis. And Pearl says of course, they love her there. As to which Marina says thanks and sends a crying text emote, and Pearl says to stop the waterworks. 2 pieces of proof in a row, and while it's still only text and not something concrete, it still shows again that they know about crying, and that they at least act like they can cry. But even though we had luck with our search getting 2 pieces of proof, well, technically 3, luck will always run out. The next 2 places I started searching were the album covers and the table turf cards, but alas, it was to no avail, as I found nothing there either. And that's all the places I can really think to look in-game. 2 to 3 pieces of evidence isn't a lot to go on, but it's more than nothing, and I haven't found anything that points to that they can't. Well, except there is one major hole in this theories, which is the whole thing with Inklings and water. You see, it is commonly believed that water is lethal to Inklings. Now, on multiple occasions, I've stated that I'm not completely convinced of this, for a variety of reasons. But I think even if large amounts of water are not good for them, a small amount, like say the amount you would get from shedding a tear or two, wouldn't cause them many real problems. Or you could even say, with a wild theory that I think is in no way correct, that they, I don't know, cry ink or something. I must stress, I don't think this is the case, for many reasons, one of which it'd just be really weird. But I know someone must have thought this before. So it's worth saying. Maybe. Or maybe it's just a way to make this video longer, even though I wholly doubt the theory and think it has no weight to it at all. You may never know which it is. And now finally to the last part of this theory. The real world. Yes, we do know that Inklings and Octolings are very different to their real-world counterparts of squids and octopi, but it's still helpful to compare. But like many things I looked into for this video, I came up short. I found studies about how cephalopods feel pain, and in an article that mentioned octopi, it also says that some animals can't cry. But there's no specific yes or no when it comes to this subject or the subject on cephalopods crying. Although that makes me wonder if we even know. I mean, they do live in water, so it'd be hard to tell. And on that note, tear ducts are mostly for making your eyes not dry. So do they even need any? That was just me rambling. I have no scientific proof, and that's just my own logic going. But no matter which it is, I couldn't find an actual answer in the real world. So, in conclusion, I do think Inklings can physically cry. There isn't really anything explicitly saying they can't. And there are a few things pointing to the fact that they can. If you enjoyed this slight mess of a video, super jump over to that like button, splat the subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And as always, stay fresh, stay off the hook, stay cool, and catch you later, Squid and Octo kids.